Watch the previous parts of this film series for better understanding. Link is in the description of those recaps. A male and female predatory lenders are seen as the movie starts. They were entrapped by Jigsaw right now. They were caught in the trap of Jigsaw because of lending money unlawfully. They lent the money to the lower strata in spite of knowing their financial condition, and they received the double charges from them cleverly. They are both told that one of them will leave as a survival. There is a scale in front of them where they had to put their flesh after cutting. The survivor will be that person who keeps in scale his flesh more than others. They had only 60 seconds to do so. Male captive is bulky, so he starts cutting his flesh. Female captive starts cutting his hand, having not much flesh, but the weight of her hand was nothing as compared to that male captive's flesh, so she cuts her arm, having more weight of her arm, so she is survived, and male captive is killed. On the other side, Hoffman goes to another room to check, coming out from the glass box, where Peter had ended. Hoffman finds some parts of Peter's flesh. Contrarily, senior officer who was the boss of Peter, he calls Hoffman in case of predatory lender, and there they detect the fingerprints of Peter. Now there was a question that Peter is dead. How did Peter's fingerprint appear there? Actually, Hoffman had found Peter's cut hand there, and he was using it against Peter, while senior officer and police had no knowledge that Peter is no more. They were still thinking that Peter is the teammate of Jigsaw. Peter is murdering all, not anyone else. Hoffman was internally happy, because everything was going on according to his scheme. Hoffman's plan has failed when he meets that female agent, who was considered dead because of the explosion of Billy's face, but that female agent was alive in reality. Then senior officer reveals that female agent's life was at risk, so they spread the fake news of her death to avoid any harm for her from anyone. Female agent will accompany them in those cases which they will cope from now on. Hoffman is shocked, encountering that female agent. As being a co-worker of Peter, she was conscious about the nature of Peter in a better way. Now Hoffman had a fear of being exposed before them, that he is not Peter who is the teammate of Jigsaw, but Hoffman, and he is murdering all, not Peter. Then a hospital is shown, where Hoffman meets a girl who was the inquiry officer, and that inquiry officer used to write in detail about Jigsaw, and she asks the address of Jigsaw's wife named Jill Tuck from Hoffman. She says, "I will stop writing about Jigsaw if you tell me the address of Jill Tuck." Then a box is shown which was given to Jill as a last memory of Jigsaw. Jill gets 6 packets in one envelope from that box. Otherwise, there are also other things in the box which are kept secret from us. Next day, Hoffman visits Jill's clinic to meet her. Here it is known that Jill was aware that Hoffman is the teammate of Jigsaw. Jill hands over 5 envelopes to Hoffman, and there were the photos of the next targets in those 5 envelopes. But Jill had got 6 envelopes. Why did she hand over 5 envelopes to Hoffman? Why did she hide one envelope? Because she keeps one of the envelopes because there was a great secret. Hoffman wished that his rules should be followed, not Jigsaw's rules, because Jigsaw is no more. Then the flashback of Jigsaw and Jill is shown. There was a discussion between them. Jigsaw says, no drug addicted can be cured with the medical treatment except Jigsaw's game trap. But Jill disagrees with him. Then Jigsaw represents Amanda's great model before her, because Amanda got rid of her drug addiction through Jigsaw's game trap. Actually, Amanda was under the treatment of Jill. According to Jill, Amanda will never get recovery. She is attracted, witnessing the cure of Amanda through Jigsaw's game. At this time, she also supports Jigsaw, because her thoughts had changed. Then a health insurance company is shown. Here the executive of company named William comes on the scene. They continue to take the money from their clients. They used to decline the coverage, making it faulty at the time of it, so they may not hand over money to client in spite of taking money from the company. And William was responsible for all things, and other 6 co-workers were working with him side by side. And a scene is shown there regarding it, as there is an old client connected with this company for last 10 years. He was heart patient. Now the money is required for the cure of his disease, but they decline coverage to him while saying, "You have already got his surgery done." As a result, that man sues William. Senior officer and female agent know that Jigsaw cuts his victim's flesh with a surgical knife, but predatory lender's flesh has been cut with a normal blade by Jigsaw, and that normal blade was also utilized for Hoffman's sister's murder in the previous part. Continuing their investigation, they reopen the case file of previous part's victims, so that they may get any clue from there, because they were curious to know the old and new targets of Jigsaw. Hoffman is satisfied even after knowing about it, because he knew that one day these proofs will be appeared. Then William is shown who is watching Jigsaw's news, sitting in his office. Then Hoffman kidnaps him, coming from backside. Going to Jill's house, inquiry officer hands over that letter to her, which was given to Amanda in part 3 by Hoffman. She will start crying after reading it, but it is also kept secret here as what has been written in that letter. Then Jill says she does not have any knowledge about this letter. Somehow inquiry officer begins to return after giving that letter to Jill, and Hoffman also kidnaps her. Coming into senses, William observes that he has been entrapped by Jigsaw, and his office's watchman is also caught in the same trap before him. Bombs have been adjusted at the feet and hands of William. He has to pass as few tests if he wants to get free from these bombs, and he has 1 hour to pass the test. In case of failure, he will not only become the victim but also his family. He will have to take the key in order to free from the first bomb. He will have to appear in the first test to take the key of first bomb. For passing the first test, he will have to hold his breath. The metal vises on his both sides will crush him with his breath counting, and he will be dead after being crushed in it. And the same trap was also adjusted for his office's watchman. As being a smoker, he cannot hold his breath. So William passes this test and that watchman becomes victim. Finding a key there, William unlocks the chain of his 1 bomb, and he proceeds for his next test. Then a mother and her son are shown who were caged. There was the acid, and words live or die had been stated on the switchboard. Inquiry officer is also seen there who was also caged. William reaches a room for his next test, where he glimpses his 3 hanged employees. William can save only 1 among 3, and he rescues female. The rest 2 are dead. Finding another key there, he unlocks the chain of his second bomb. Then he notices a written message final decision on his hand. Then he remembers that he has met Jigsaw for 2 times. His first meeting was at a party and another in the office when he had declined coverage to Jigsaw. William meets his lawyer in the next test. There was a trap adjusted around her neck, and the key of that trap was in the stomach of William. William does not cut his stomach. Before the time duration, that lawyer meets her end. He also gets another key and he again unlocks another bomb's chain. Senior officer attains an audio tape of the previous part victim, and they were setting the frequency of it so the voice may be recognizable after hearing. As they know, this voice is of Hoffman. Hoffman kills everyone, damaging that audio tape. He sets that place on fire and leaves from there. Jill is shown who delivers the same parcel in a hospital's room which she had got. Then William reaches in such a room where his 6 employees were entrapped, who used to support him, and William could rescue only 2 employees among them. There was a fixed shotgun before them. William will have to sacrifice 1 of his hands to rescue even 2 persons. Then he saves 2 girls. Finding a key there, he also unlocks his bomb's chain. Then those mother and son are shown who are panicked, because time was nearly to be up and they were unable to understand what should they do. Then they decide to switch off the main switch, but it was also not working. Then Jill is shown who reaches that room where whole game was being conducted, and she places those left things which she had got from Jigsaw's box. She also places that letter on his table which was written to Amanda by Hoffman, and she is waiting for Hoffman, hiding at a place there. Then William reaches the last room. This room is located between inquiry officer and mother and son's chambers, but he does not save that family because of unfamiliarity, but he saves that inquiry officer because she was his sister, and those mother and the son were the family of that person whose coverage was declined by William. Then Jigsaw apologizes that family as his tape recording plays, as he entraps that family here. Now he puts a choice before them, and it was that William should be ended before his family, as that lady's husband was ended before her after declining his coverage. That lady's son turns on that main switch when lady is unable to do it. Consequently, the whole acid is dissolved in William's body, and he loses his life. Then Hoffman returns to his office, and he reads that letter placed on the table by Jill. Hoffman is left astonished, seeing that letter there. Here it is revealed that attacker of Jigsaw's wife was not Amanda but her friend. It was the plan of Amanda to rob Jill's clinic, but she never wanted to hurt Jill. This reality is not exposed before Jigsaw, but Hoffman gets it. Then Hoffman blackmails Amanda to kill that female doctor, who had treated Jigsaw. In return, that female doctor's husband will end Jigsaw, and Hoffman will dominate Jigsaw's place. And it also happens the same. Then Jill fastened Hoffman with a chair, giving the electric shocks, and he sets the same trap on his face which was set on Amanda's face, and she does not hand over the key of that trap to Hoffman. She also reveals a fact here that Jigsaw had sent 6 envelopes of victims. Jill had hidden an envelope which had a secret. The secret was this: that envelope had the photo of Hoffman. According to Jigsaw, Hoffman will also be entrapped by him, because he does not deserve to take his work further. Jill leaves Hoffman there to die and goes away. Breaking his hand, Hoffman gets up from the chair, and he also removes his trap with the help of a window. He is survived but his face was injured bitterly. The end. Subscribe for more videos like this. Bye.